This is the Professional Edge. My name's Todd, tax attorney, CPA, certified financial planner, host here on the Professional Edge for north of 5 years. I like bringing this information, different topics, and the topic we're talking about is what will your grandchild actually inherit? And being a listener here, you might know that my push to get things done, I challenge our listeners to get things done. We are already, if you can believe it, closing out the first quarter of 2021. And with that, a lot of us made New Year's resolutions on getting our estate plan done, getting things in order. Yes, we have that. So in the first, 60 days, have you done anything to get that moving in the right direction? You might not even know where to start. Do you look in the yellow pages? Do you do LegalZoom? The best place to start for your estate plan is go to our website, emcadvisors.com. That is Echo Mary Charlie Advisors.com. And on the right-hand side, we have the Ultimate Estate Plan Guide. Click that. We'll send you the information. Carte blanche, free, gratis. So that's a great starting point on things you are needing to consider in doing your estate plan. But again, don't overcomplicate things. At least get something in place. Is it going to be actually perfect? The answer is no. Things change. But that's where you do a change to your document. So let's say that your documents are done and now you are listening to this podcast on what will your grandchildren inherit. 90% of the individuals that do their estate plan put no provisions in whatsoever for their grandchildren. Well, let's just carve out a little bit for the little guys and gals, and let's plant a seed so it grows into a mighty oak. So one of the examples that I gave was we carve out $50,000 and we allow that to compound for 30 years. The rule of 72 says you take your interest rate into 72 and that will tell you how many years it takes to double. So if we take 10 into 72, every 7 years it's going to double. 7.2 if you do the division correctly. So every 7.2 years, the money's going to double. At 30, that's 4 compoundings. So at 50 becomes 1, becomes 2, becomes 4, becomes 8. So that $50,000 would become $800,000 to that one grandchild. So again, this is consideration on what your grandchild will actually inherit. And to be intentional with your planning, once you put this provision in your estate plan document, because that $50,000 might not change the needle on your children because they may be inheriting $350,000. So therefore 50 more on that's not going to change things. So make that change, carve out that. It's a item for consideration. So what will your grandchild inherit? And when they inherit this, we want to place this in that testamentary trust, allow them access to that for quality decisions, meaning education, down payment on a house, starting a business, things such as that. So we can put those provisions inside that testamentary trust. And then when they reach, let's say, age 30, age 40, then they are allowed access to those proceeds. So when we think about that, the other reason why we have this in that testamentary trust is it is creditor proof. So again, if that grandchild should cause an accident, be party to a litigation, we are a very litigious society. I don't think that's going to the wayside. Then these assets are protected from the claims of those creditors. And again, if the grandchild gets married at 21, 22, and gets divorced at 27, because we know more than one half of all marriages end in divorce now, which we have to plan if we're being honest with ourselves, then this asset is also protected from the claims of that potential ex-spouse. So again, it's what will your grandchild inherit and how will they inherit it is so important. So let's think about this. Are we going to leave them a collector automobile? Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure I'm going to leave that collector automobile to unfettered access when they reach age 18, because what will they do? If they're a boy, their friends are going to say, not what year, what make, what model it is. The very first question they're going to say is, how fast is it? And the older gentlemen that's listening to this podcast are just smiling inside because that's the question they always ask their friend. How fast is it? How fast have you gone? So again, what will your grandchildren inherit? We got to just be selective on what we actually allow them to inherit. Now, we talked about a qualified account on inheriting an IRA. Well, we can stretch that out not over their life expectancy like we used to, but we can at least stretch it out for 10 years, so it might make financial sense to leave part of your IRA to your grandchild and then have some additional considerations put in place, or planning considerations put in place for them once that distribution is made out of that IRA, and it is a required distribution over 10 years now. Hopefully that's going to sunset and we get back the stretch IRA to allow the distributions to be over their life expectancy. Running the math on when those were available, the individual would receive almost 3 times the economic benefit by stretching out the payment of taxes over their life expectancy. So again, we can leave them an IRA, but let's talk about a Roth IRA. Would we want to maybe leave part of that Roth IRA to that grandchild? Potentially, yes. That might be an asset that we select, and we identify that on the beneficiary designation. So you say, okay, in my last will and testament, I'm going to draft a provision which says I leave 10% of my IRA, my Roth IRA, to my grandchild. Well, let's say your Roth IRA is $50,000, 10% is going to be $5,000, and that's what you have in your last will and testament. But your beneficiary designation on your Roth says I give all that to my son or daughter. Let's say son in this example. So lo and behold, you think that 10% of your Roth IRA is going to go to that grandchild because you put it in your last will and testament. Well, unfortunately, you are wrong, 100% wrong, because your will does not have anything to do with the beneficiary designation on your Roth IRA. So again, being a tax attorney, a CPA, certified financial planner, we integrate clients' planning objectives, and therefore we know that the beneficiary designation on that Roth account would supersede whatever you have in your estate planning documents. So therefore, if you did not update the beneficiary designation on your Roth account to leave 10% to that grandchild, then they're not going to receive anything because the beneficiary designation on the IRA would supersede whatever you had in your last will and testament, and therefore your grandchild would actually be disinherited. How does that make you feel? You disinherited your grandchild even though you thought you were leaving that to them because you didn't coordinate things. And that's 20 plus years of experience, 2,500 estate plans that we've done. That's the level of expertise that we help our clients with at Estate Management Counselors. That's the investment advisory firm. It's a registered investment advisory firm with the Securities and Exchange Commission. But on the legal side, that is my practice of law as a tax attorney. Therefore, we are licensed to draft those documents. So being understanding of the financial instruments and also of the assets and the estate planning is a unique combination. And if you like what you're hearing here and you want to discuss this personally, confidentially, give our office a call. We can set that appointment up. We have the satellite office down here in Columbus, and we also have our main office in Atlanta. But in today's world with a Zoom call, you know what? If you're in Macon, Georgia, and you want to give us a call, we can schedule that Zoom call, coordinate it, and have a candid conversation. Again, to schedule that, 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. So back to what we're actually going to give that grandchild, or what is the grandchild going to inherit? How about we want them to inherit a work ethic? A lot of that's going away, and the value of a work ethic is unbelievable, or the value of an education is unbelievable. The best return on investment is an education. So again, if you're not considering what is going down to that grandchild and you're just leaving everything to your child, It might be a wake-up call. Again, we are in the first quarter of 2021, and a lot of individuals say, you know what, I'm going to get my estate plan updated. It's still on that old crusty paper, legal size paper. I haven't looked at it, haven't pulled it out of the safety deposit box. I know I did this when the children were born. Imagine that. Now they're already done with college and started their family. It's time to get those documents updated. You may have the grandchildren in the picture now, and let's make a provision for them. Let's protect them. Let's plant a seed so it grows into that mighty oak. And the way we do that is we basically establish a testamentary trust inside your estate planning document, and nothing is put inside that trust. That's another misconception, is if you establish that trust today, do we have to put the money in today? The answer is no. Nothing goes in there until, usually in a husband and wife situation, until the surviving spouse passes away, that last to die person. At which point then we actually fund that trust for that grandchild. So again, these are planning considerations. With 20 plus years of experience, what will your grandchild actually inherit? And let's say you want them to inherit a work ethic. Well, that's when we make the terms and conditions of that testamentary trust to say, you know what, we're going to give you a matching dollar. Think of your 401k. You make a contribution, your employer is going to match that. So we can incentivize them and say, okay, you get a baseline of $5,000 a year, but we will match dollar for dollar what your earned income is. Okay, great. They earn $30,000 more. Well, guess what? They get a $5,000 baseline distribution and $30,000 more. So now it incentivizes them to work harder, not be lazy, not be unemployed. So that's another incentive that we can place inside that testamentary trust terms and conditions. And again, probably one of the key components, which a lot of our listeners here on the Professional Edge don't really understand, is that what is inside this testamentary trust is creditor proof. Again, the protection of assets is just as important as the accumulation of assets. And again, to have a conversation on how this type of planning might help you in your individual situation, do give our office a call at 877-654-9798. That number again, 877-654-9798. Be sure to pass this podcast on to your colleagues. Send them the link and say, hey, you might want to take a listen to this Professional Edge guy. He has some good ideas, some good indications of what's going on. And we talk anywhere from tax planning to estate planning to investment planning and retirement planning. We all want to be able to stop work one day. I appreciate you listening to the Professional Edge. My name's Todd, tax attorney, CPA, and certified financial planner. Special bonus for our listeners, if you want to check out emcthebundle.com. That is Echo Mary Charlie, thebundle.com. That would be great. Take care.
We've all thought about it. Everyone listening will need one. Not having one can cause untold heartache, family conflict escalating to the point of a lawsuit. One simple thing that avoids all that: an effective estate plan. As a practicing tax attorney, Todd with Estate Management Counselors has completed over 1,000 estate plans during his 15 years of professional practice. He can help you implement an effective estate plan, coordinate your financial accounts, and make sure you have named the proper beneficiaries to maximize your tax savings. Call 877-654-9798 today and let tax attorney Todd help you implement an effective estate plan. Call 877-654-9798 today. As a tax attorney, CPA for over 15 years, Todd has implemented over 1,000 individual estate plans. He has recently authored an especially helpful guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan. This guide has helped many individuals to understand the benefits of an estate plan and how to avoid unintended disasters. has made every attempt to write this in plain English. To receive this valuable guide, How to Unlock the Ultimate Estate Plan, call 1-877-654-9798 and request your complimentary copy today, or by emailing your request to info@emcadvisors.net.